Hello, I'm Una. You're very welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm showing how I got on in my first attempts at using Altenew metallic watercolours. I decided I'd try them out on light coloured cardstock and dark coloured cardstock. I'm using Crafter's Companion watercolour card and Crafter's Companion black cardstock. And the stamp set I'm using is Peony Bouquet, an old Altenew set, and this outline image is the one that I stamped and heat embossed with gold embossing powder. Here's the set of metallic watercolours. I only acquired them recently and this is my first attempt at using them. The box has loads of spaces in it for mixing colours, but I removed the insert because I find it just more convenient to use it that way. And I swatched the colours on the very same cardstock that I'm using today, the white and the black, and you can see how vibrant and shiny the colours are. I was really looking forward to using them. I use an ordinary glass jar to hold clean water, and my two favourite brushes I'm using today, a Daler Rowney size 3 and a Kolinsky Sable brush. I've had this one for years and years. I paid a good bit for it years ago, but it's worth investing in good brushes. These hold a lot of paint and they go to a very fine tip, and that's really important in a watercolour brush. Now, I thought I was doing great work here. I was going great guns and the paint was I was loading up my brush really well and it was going on very smoothly. But in the end, I wasn't so pleased, and you'll see that later on. Now, I'm not going to show the painting of the flower because I just went on like this to the very end. And I was feeling very pleased at this stage. When I lift it up to the camera now, you'll see that it looks really nice. And I left that aside to dry. More about that later. And the black cardstock is matte black and it's 300 GSM, the same as the white watercolour card. Now, it's not watercolour paper, but I just wanted to see how I'd get on using watercolour paints on it, and I think it worked really, really well. I won't be investing in black watercolour card. This will do very well. So I'm just keeping this in here because I didn't show how I stamped and embossed the peony flower for the first part of the video. So I prepped my paper with a cornstarch bag. You can use talcum powder as well. It works just as well. But it makes sure that nothing sticks where you don't want it. So I applied the Papermania Gold powder and then heated it up. And who doesn't love watching heat embossing melting? And I'm using the Garnet shade, which is this red. So I painted it the very same way that I painted the white watercolour card. And this worked really well, and the outcome was very different. And you can see here, it was looking very nice. And then at the end, I was pleased with it. It looked good, and I set it aside to dry. And when it was dry, I cut it out. This is the die set that goes with that peony bouquet, and it leaves a nice small border, and that held up really well. Now look at this. I wasn't at all pleased. Now, I held it in front of the torch on my phone so that you'd see just how awful that painting was. So I tried again, and this time I used the bigger brush and I loaded it up really well. I tested it there on the side to make sure that I was getting the loading that I felt would stay on the paper. And I'm not dragging the bristles, I'm tapping the brush head onto the paper and letting the colour flow out onto the card. It's sort of flooding out of the brush as I press. And this seemed to be working really well. I was getting really a good saturation of colour down on the paper. But I wouldn't know until it dried whether I had been successful or not, because the first one looked okay. I'm just showing there that you can flood the paper with what, because it's watercolour, if you do go outside the lines, it's easy to mend that. And here is what you should do with good watercolour brushes. Squeeze them with your fingers and dry them flat. Then I stamped and embossed all of the leaves and the buds that come in this beautiful set. And I used jade green for the big leaves and Prasiolite, which is that sort of bluey green. I really like that shade. I'll be coming back to use that again on many projects. I thought it looked really, really nice. Now the jade green on the white watercolour card behaved the same way as the red. It didn't cover terribly well in places, so I went back over it with a second layer, and this fixed the problem. So I thought, why didn't I do that the first time? So I went back and painted over the first watercolour card flower that I painted, and it covered it quite well. There were a couple of spots where it was still looking a bit patchy and blotchy, but I will certainly be able to use it again for another card. So I'm playing around here with the placement of the bits and pieces until I get an arrangement that I'm happy with. This takes me a while, and when I feel that that's a nice arrangement, I turn it over, pick it up with press and seal and flip it over, and then with a combination of double-sided tape and glue, liquid glue, this is high-tack, fast-tack glue, and I'm using a Gina K bottle. I apply that all over the back and then stick it down and adhere any pieces that aren't adhered on top. And snip off the pieces that I left hanging over the edge of the card. And I'm ready to move on to the second arrangement. And this is looking very nice. I'm happy with it in the end, even though there was a bit involved with getting it to look right, but it does look really well in the end. So I'll just be careful in future to use the right size brush and to load the brush with enough paint. This Sugar Pea Designs set is a great one. I use it time and time again. This time I'm using just the little word sending that I got from Sending Hugs from that set. I snipped it in two, and I often just use the sending on its own. The Hugs word here I got from a gift card set from Fawn, I think. I list my supplies down below in case you want to know what anything is. That's a really sweet little word. Now this is black cardstock, painted on black cardstock, and I fussy cut it out instead of using the die because I didn't want any edges, any black edges, and I think I really like that. Somehow think that on the black cardstock the colour is just a little bit more vivid. Now I do like this white one as well. It ended up looking really nice. And I think this is very elegant. So I was really pleased with the 3 cards I made today. I hope you liked them, and I hope you'll give this technique a try. Do come back to Una's Crafty Cards. I would love to talk to you. So if you'd like to leave a comment below, maybe you tell me which of these cards you liked. You're going to see some more videos on screen now that you might like to watch. If you'd like this video, that would be really good for me. It's really important for the success of my channel. Bye for now. All the best. Do come back again, and in the meantime, stay safe and well. Bye.